Hello everyone. So I am here to start a new lecture on anti-tubercular drugs. Okay. So in this lecture we will discuss about the TB and what are the key points or data related with the tuberculosis disease, and then we will consider about the therapy under this. Yes. So let us start with the TB. Tuberculosis is one of the bacterial disease which is caused by the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Yes. This bacteria which has a special characteristics, means it is different in nature with the cell wall. It has a mycolic acid, yes, present in their cell. Yes, this disease is one of the commonly affecting the lungs area. Yes, and this is curable and preventable. Okay. TB is spreadable from one person to another person, and what are the symptoms under this? So, there will be cough, there will be sneezing, okay, and fever. Okay. Sometimes there is a blood in the cough at the time of coughing. So, these are some of the common symptoms of this disease. Then a person needs to inhale only a few of these germs to become infected. Yes. Now, if we see the data under this disease, so about 1/4 of the world's population has a TB infection. Yes, but they all are not suffering with a disease. Okay, there is a difference between the infection and the disease. The person who are infected with the TB bacteria, means they have already inhaled it, they have TB bacteria present in their body. It is in the latent form or dormant condition. Whenever their immunity will be low, that infection will convert it to the disease. Okay. So, at that time we need the therapy for the patient. Even also for the latent infection we have a therapy that will consider or that will discuss in the later slides. Yes. Now, what are the other data? So, people who are infected with TB bacteria have nearly 5 to 10% lifetime risk of falling ill with TB, that what I told you. Yes, this is only when their immunity will be low. At that time they will be ill with the TB. Yes. Now, the conditions in which the immunity is low. So, there is a one disease like HIV, yes, human immunodeficiency virus, or malnutrition, it is also reducing the immunity. Yes, diabetes, yes, and there are some other disease also in which our immunity is impacted. At that time, the people with this disease, they are more prone or they have a higher risk of falling ill with the TB. Yes. Now, when a person who develops a active TB disease, the symptoms such as, which I told you in the previous slides also, like cough, there will be fever, there will be sweats, weight loss could be there, which may be mild for many months and can be severe if it is not treated. Now, see, people with active TB can infect nearly 5 to 15 other people through close contact over the course of the year. Yes, this is the spreadability or how much the transmission can happen. Without proper treatment, if you will see the data, it will not treat the patient, what would happen? So, without proper treatment, 45% of HIV negative people with TB on average or nearly all HIV positive people with TB will die. Yes. So, it is very important to treat them. Yes. Now, coming to the what are the drugs under this therapy. Okay. So, for the treatment of TB we have two categories. Okay. Either we can use the first line drug or we can use the second line drug. Yes. What is the difference between these two? So, first line drugs are those drugs which have a higher efficacy, yes, higher efficacy and less side effects comparatively to the second line. Yes. So, our first preference is for the first line drugs. Now, what are the first line drugs? See, first is isoniazid. Okay. So, we have denoted it by a H symbol. Then there is rifampicin, second first line drug. Yes. Then pyrazinamide, third one, which is denoted as Z. Fourth, ethambutol, which is denoted as E. And other drugs under the first line are streptomycin, okay, which is denoted as S. Now, rifabutin and rifapentin, these are the forms of the rifampicin. Yes, they have some advantage over the rifampicin. So, we will do it in the later slides, like what are the advantages. So, we will see the second line, and these second line drugs are only preferred when the first line drug is not effective in the patient or if there is a resistance. So, second line drugs include thiacetazone, PAS, para-aminosalicylic acid, ethionamide, cycloserine, kanamycin, capreomycin, amikacin, ofloxacin, levofloxacin, moxifloxacin, linezolid and clarithromycin. Yes. So, these are the drugs which are known as anti-tubercular drugs, and they are divided into two parts, first line and second line. Now, we will start with the isoniazid. Okay, how it is different, what is the mechanism of isoniazid? So, it is basically it is a prodrug. So, it needs to be activated inside the body. How it will activate? See, it is activated by catalase peroxidase. This is the enzyme. Okay, this is important. This is the enzyme catalase peroxidase, and the active metabolite which is formed after the activation by this enzyme, that particular product will inhibit the enzyme ketoenol reductase. Yes, and these ketoenol reductase is essential for the mycolic acid synthesis. In the very initial I told you this bacteria has this mycolic acid. Okay. So, if the mycolic acid will be inhibited, what will happen? Of course, the cell will die. Okay. Now, see, Mycobacterium strains are susceptible to isoniazid if resistance is less than 4%. If resistance is less than 4%, we can prescribe the isoniazid. Yes. Bacteriostatic against resting, and it is also acting as bactericidal. Bacteriostatic means it will only suppress the growth of the bacteria in the case when the bacteria are in the resting condition, and when the bacteria is in the multiplying stage, at that time it will act as bactericidal, means this drug can also kill the bacteria. Yes, so it can work as both bacteriostatic as well as bactericidal. After that, see how this drug is effective. This drug is effective against intra as well as extracellular mycobacteria. Okay, the bacteria which is present inside the cell or outside the cell. For both of the conditions, this drug is effective. Okay, it will see about the pharmacokinetic properties. So, it is widely distributed throughout the body, including the cerebrospinal fluid. Yes. Now, this drug can be used for the treatment of TB, as well as it is also used for the latent tuberculosis infection. Yes. Then, why there is a resistance towards that particular drug. So, resistance generally occurs due to the mutation in a particular gene. Which gene is here? CATG. Yes, CATG means catalase peroxidase. So, gene for the catalase peroxidase, if it will be mutated, what will happen? There will be resistance towards that particular drug. So, the drug will not be effective. Okay. Now, if I will talk about the ADR, adverse drug reaction, if we will take this drug for a longer time, there are chances that it will cause peripheral neuritis. Yes, peripheral neuritis means there will be neuropathy. Okay, there will be damage in the neurons. Okay, it will cause damage in that area. So, there will what symptoms will appear? There will be confusion. Okay, there will be mental imbalance. these symptoms will appear. Now, why this appears? It appears just because of the isoniazid. What it will do, it will bind with the pyridoxine, this compound. This is known as vitamin B6. Yes, when it is binded with the vitamin B6, it will form some another compound. Yes, and it starts to secrete out from the body. Now, vitamin B6 is very essential for the maintenance of these neurons, yes, for the production of neurotransmitter, which is beneficial for our body. Now, what will happen if this pyridoxine will excrete out from the body? Of course, these type of adverse drug reactions will come. So, what we will do in this condition? We are treating the patient with the isoniazid. At the same time, we are prescribing pyridoxine to the patient. Okay. Now, see what are the other adverse effects of the isoniazid. There can be rash, fever, okay, low RBC count, optic atrophy, okay, visual impairment, seizures, convulsions, lupus-like syndrome. Yes, there will be edema or inflammation. This is one of the very severe condition where the autoimmune means immunity working against ourselves. Okay. So, this happens in this. Then psychosis. This psychosis appears due to what I told you, peripheral neuritis. Then gynecomastia is the one of the secondary sexual characteristics developed in the man. Okay. So, means there will be more growth of the breast tissues in the man's. Okay. So, this will happen in this. Now, see the isoniazid drug, it is metabolized by acetylation. Yes. So, we required acetylator enzyme. Now, there are sometimes we have seen in the patients, they have less acetylators. Okay. They are known as slow acetylators. So, those patients have less acetylation enzymes. Okay, just because it is a genetic disorders, means in some of the patients we have seen. So, slow acetylators are predisposed to toxicity, because if the enzyme is not available, it will not going to metabolize. So, what will happen ultimately? The amount of isoniazid in the blood, that will increase. Okay, so that can lead to the toxicity, or there are more chances of peripheral neuritis. So, we have to see for the patients also. The patients who are slow acetylators will not prescribe this drug, or either we have to decrease the dose. Yes. Now, coming to the another drug, rifampicin. Yes, this rifampicin, it is a derivative of rifamycin. This is a bactericidal drug, means it will kill the bacteria. Okay. How it will show its action? So, this rifampicin will inhibit the DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Okay. So, whatever the proteins will which should to form, they will not form. Okay. And ultimately the cell will die. What are the other features of this drug? When we'll prescribe this drug, it can cause orange discoloration of the urine. Okay, this is very important. Okay, orange discoloration of the urine and eliminated mainly in the fecus. Yes. It can be used safely for renal dysfunction. Why? Because it is mainly excreted through bile. So, we can prescribe this drug in kidney disorders. The patients who are suffering from any of the kidney disease, at that time we can safely give it to the patient. Yes. Now, food interferes with the absorption, therefore, it should be given before empty stomach. Now, see the other points under this rifampicin is, it is penetrating the membranes, yes, including blood-brain barrier and placental barrier. Effective for both type intra as well as extracellular bacilli, the bacilli which is present inside the cell or outside the cell, it is effective for both of the things, and it is bactericidal drug against dormant bacteria. Dormant bacteria means which are not active, yes, means they form some they form the cations, okay, means caseous lesions they will form. So, for that they will be effective. After that, apart from the tuberculosis, rifampicin is one of the drug which is used for many of the infections, okay, like it is used for the leprosy. It can cause light chain proteinuria. Sometimes we have seen that there will be the proteins, light chain proteins, they will come out in the urine, okay. So, this is one of the ADR we have seen in some of the patient, and it can also impair antibody response, okay. This is one of the drug which is acting as enzyme inducer. So, there are many times we have seen there are chances of drug interaction, okay. Enzyme inducer means it will increase the levels of the enzyme, okay. So, we have to check for the drug combinations when we are prescribing the rifampicin with any of the drug. At that time we have to check, okay. Okay. So, rifampicin is excreted through bile, that is why we can prescribe it for the renal diseases, yes. So, no need of dose adjustment. Now, this is the one of safest drug which is prescribed in pregnancy, okay. Rifabutin is one of the form of rifampicin which is more effective, we will see, against the MAC, yes, Mycobacterium avium complex. This complex means there will be infection with a group of mycobacteria, yes. So, this drug is effective. Now, it has longer T half compared to rifampicin. So, it will stay in the body for a longer time, yes. It has a less potential to induce microsomal enzymes, that is why we can prescribe it in the patients who are on the antiretroviral therapy. So, they are taking the protease inhibitors. At that time, this rifabutin can be prescribed to the patients, okay. Because what will happen, here we are giving the enzyme inhibitor, protease inhibitors, and rifabutin or rifampicin, they are the enzyme inducers. So, effect will be nil, but if we will compare the rifabutin with the rifampicin, so rifabutin has a less potential to induce microsomal enzymes. So, best preference at the time to give for the those patients who are on the antiretroviral therapy is the rifabutin, yes. Now, see the ethambutol. This is also first line drug. This is the bacteriostatic drug. It will suppress the growth of the bacteria, yes. How it will act? What is the mechanism of action? So, it will inhibit the synthesis of arabinogalactane, yes. Arabinogalactane is one of the very essential component of the this mycobacteria, yes. So, it will inhibit synthesis of this arabinogalactane due to inhibition of this enzyme, arabinosyl transferase, yes. This enzyme is essential for the formation of arabinogalactane, which is essential component of mycobacteria. So, what will happen? Of course, the cell will die after that. It causes dose dependent and reversible optic neuritis, yes. So, there will be damage in the optic nerves, yes. Ultimately, there will be visual impairment, but yes, it is dose dependent or reversible. When will stop the dose or will withdraw the dose? Of course, the effects will be less. Because children are unable to report early visual impairment, yes, therefore, it is not given in the children's, contraindicated in the children. It has also the capability to increase the uric acid levels in the blood, hyperuricemia. Therefore, it is not preferred in those patients who are suffering with gout or arthritis, yes. So, ethambutol, it is causing hyperuricemia or peripheral neuritis. After that, requires adjustment in renal failure patients, yes, this is the precautions we have to take. Now, pyrazinamide, yes, pyrazinamide is another drug, first line drug. This is the weakly bactericidal drug, yes. How it is working? This pyrazinamide will change into its metabolite form and it will inhibit the fatty acid synthesis, which is important for the formation of cell, yes. But yet its mechanism it's not explored. What I told you is mentioned in some of the literature. Half-life prolonged in hepatic as well as renal impairment. Therefore, when the person who is affected with any of the disease with liver or kidney, we need to precocely given. Yes. What is ADR? It will increase the uric acid level. So, not given in the gout or arthritic patient. It can cause hepatic dysfunction, it can cause porphyria. Porphyria, what is porphyria? It will, this porphyria, it is essential for the formation of normal RBCs. Yes. So, in porphyria what happened? There will be increase in the porphyria proteins. Okay, these proteins, when these proteins will increase, of course, there will be abnormal RBCs. Okay. Photosensitivity, this is also one of the reaction with this drug. Now coming to the last drug under the first line is streptomycin. This streptomycin drug is only a single drug under this first line which is not given orally. So, it is given parenterally, IM injection. Yes, it is preferred only in those conditions when the patients are not showing any effectiveness with other 4 drugs which I have already discussed. Yes, it is poorly plasma protein bound, half-life prolonged in renal failure. Yes, it is contraindicated in pregnancy. Yes, so it is not given in pregnancy condition. It can cause the severe effects in pregnant. Yes. Now see, there are some second line drugs. So what are the second line drugs? These drugs are given at the time when the first line drugs are not effective, like thioacetazone, PAS, para-aminosalicylic acid, kanamycin, capreomycin and fluoroquinolones. We will see what are the adverse effects under this, like thioacetazone. It can cause hepatitis, bone marrow suppression, it can cause Stevens-Johnson syndrome, means there will be rashes on the skin. Yes. Not used in HIV patients because there are chances of hypersensitivity in those patients. Yes. Para-aminosalicylic acid, it can affect on the kidney as well as liver as well as on thyroid dysfunction. So, it has many side effects. It is only prescribed when the drugs, the primary drugs or the first line drugs are not effective. Then kanamycin, amikacin, these 2 drugs are injectable form drugs. Okay, they are not available orally. They are only prescribed in MDR TB, multi-drug resistant TB. Yes, where isoniazid or rifampicin is not effective. Then capreomycin is also one of the polypeptide. It is also given in injection form. Yes, it can cause ototoxicity, ear damage. Okay, there will be problem with the hearing. Nephrotoxicity, nephrons will damage, means kidney damage. Due to the kidney damage, there will be imbalance in the these ions, potassium, magnesium, that will be low in the blood. Yes, fluoroquinolones, which is including the ofloxacin, moxifloxacin and levofloxacin, they are given for the MAC infection, Mycobacterium avium complex infection. Now, if you will see the TCP 2020 guidelines, under this, these are the categories: latent TB, category 1, category 2 and 4th. Under this, see, for the latent TB infection, the chemoprophylaxis is given daily INH, isoniazid, for 9 months. Okay. Category 1 patients are the new patients, means in those patients we have diagnosed the disease, doctor has diagnosed the disease and started the treatment. Those are known as new patients. Yes, what will give? For 2 months, isoniazid, H is isoniazid, then rifampicin, pyrazinamide and ethambutol, and after that for 4 months, isoniazid and rifampicin. So, total therapy 6 months. Category 2 patients means the patients who had taken the therapy, but after that they have skipped the doses or there will be failure in the therapy. So, how will treat the patient? For 2 months, isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, ethambutol and streptomycin. Okay, all 5 drugs of the first line. Then for 1 month, isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide and ethambutol. Okay, then after this for 5 months will give isoniazid, rifampicin and ethambutol. treatment failure for special cases. If there will be resistant or intolerance to isoniazid, what will give for 6 months? Rifampicin, pyrazinamide, ethambutol or quinolone. Resistance or intolerance to rifampicin, what will give for 12 months? Isoniazid, pyrazinamide, ethambutol and quinolone and plus S. Yes, streptomycin for extensive disease. If there will be intolerance to pyrazinamide, this is the therapy. For 2 months isoniazid, rifampicin and ethambutol, and for 7 months isoniazid and rifampicin. For MDR TB and extensive drug resistant TB, when there is a resistance with isoniazid and rifampicin, at those conditions we will prescribe some other drugs, not these drugs, means this isoniazid, exception with the isoniazid and rifampicin, the other drugs of this anti-tubercular therapy we can go for. Okay, so thank you so much everyone. I hope this is clear to all of you. What are the anti-tubercular drugs, what are the advantages, what are the adverse drug reaction with these drugs, and how the therapy is planned.